Tonight at 5, too soon? As the governor extends a statewide mask mandate, at least one county wants to toss out all COVID restrictions.
We have no hospitalizations. We had one death that was confirmed COVID-related.
Slowing the spread. At the site of one of Colorado's worst outbreaks, hundreds line up to get protection from the virus.
And honoring our loss. No matter how COVID touched your life, tonight is a night to stop and reflect. Those World War II-era planes, part of a ceremony to remember 1 year of a devastating pandemic. Do you remember where you were on March 5th, 2020? I know I was sitting right here telling you about the first confirmed case of coronavirus in the state of Colorado.
It was very surreal, and it would only be a few hours before we learned the sick man was just visiting Colorado. He stayed in a Summit County home, went skiing with his fiance and friends, and may have unknowingly spread the virus for days before visiting St. Anthony's Medical Center to get a COVID test.
And that was the spark that lit the fuse. In 8 days, we went from one positive case to 72 with our first reported death, an elderly woman in El Paso County, and by March 25th, 1,000 cases. The following day, a statewide stay-at-home order went into effect.
Our generation is being called upon to sacrifice to save the lives of our fellow Coloradans and our fellow Americans.
It was still tough to understand at that point, but the 12 months since have been a roller coaster, we know. In April, COVID patients filled nearly 1,300 hospital beds. We have so many healthcare heroes to thank. We thought that would be the peak. Things slowed down in late May and June, and by July, bars and restaurants were starting to reopen. It's also when Governor Polis announced a statewide mask mandate.
And it certainly seemed like things had slowed down. And then between Halloween and Thanksgiving, well, the number of people in Colorado hospitals tripled. The period right after Thanksgiving is the closest we came to exceeding hospital capacity. We were introduced to the COVID dial as all of the Denver Metro moved to level red, the most serious restrictions.
And then light at the end of the tunnel. The news of a vaccine. Pfizer received approval first, and Colorado received its first shipment December 14th. The number of people hospitalized with COVID has been on the steady decline since the day that first shipment arrived. That was a moment that nearly brought our governor to tears.
This has been on the shoulders of every Colorado family. Whether you got COVID or not, whether you personally lost somebody or not, the economic, the social impact, the psychological impact. This has been a very tough year.